So, oh, fuck off. Well, here we are for video free. Bank holiday video filming. Yes! Got a new bit of technology. If I walk around, you can see what I'm doing. It's following me, look. How fucking cool is that? Woo! We try and beat it. Oh, it's a bit too quick for her then. Bit too quick. Got myself a Hohem iSteady Wanabunner, and it tracks me. And it's a pain in the ass, but hopefully I'll learn how to use it. It might make better content, but it might not. So what have I got to do? Where are we? This is video free. If you've not watched the other videos, go back and watch the other videos. If you're coming in at video free, you're a little bit weird. This is where we are so far. Close up camera, close up camera. Zoom in on that one. Lovely. This is where we are so far. You will remember because you've watched. I've got a bit of a cold, excuse me. Stinking cold, that's an ironic saying, isn't it? Because you can't smell anything. But hopefully I don't sound like too much of a tit. This is where we are so far. I've got a skunk stripe in there. I've got to chop that off on the bandsaw. I've got to machine this little neck down to 25 mil. The reason I've got to get it to 25 mil is because then I can put it in my profiler and we could put a profile on the fretboard. That'd be sexy, wouldn't it? Yes, yes, Paul, that will be sexy. Once I've done that, I'm going to get that sanded with the StewMac radius, 12-degree radius, 12-inch radius. We go imperial for radii. There you go. Miles per hour, inches in radius, and other things. Say no more. So we're going to chop that off. We're going to radius the top. This is going to be down to 25 mil, our finished depth. Then I'm going to put a radius on and it's all going to be lovely. The reason I'm doing that now is because I can then put that, strap it onto my super flat bit of granite without worrying about my makeshift neck support and all that shit. And we can get the radius all done spot on before we do anything else, which I think is going to be a nice way of doing it. Never done it that way before, but we're mixing up on this build. I think it's a better way of doing it, but there you go. You can comment, you can tell me I'm a tit. Most people do who know me well enough. Don't be afraid. But if you are going to comment like a tit, beware of retribution. Just going to bandsaw this off and then get it sanded.
You are creepy as shit.
I can see I'm going to have a lot of fun with that. A lot of fun with that. Have you subscribed? Why haven't you subscribed? Do you want to just subscribe for me? Have you seen my subscriber count? It's sad. You can cheer me up a little bit. Like I said, if you can hear the CNC, sorry about that. I've got a little job going on. So here we go. This is what we've got. We've got our skunk stripe. Pretty good little fit there. Give it a little rub for the fans. People love a little bit of wood rubbing around here. 25 mil. Next job is going to be to get it radiused. I believe my radius jig is supposed to work with a 25 mil neck. Could be wrong. I'm going to start getting a little bit more precise. I'm going to get to grips with some of my gear because I'm a bit like, yeah, I'll scratch the surface on how to use it. I need to work harder. I need to be better at what I'm doing. And I watch myself build this stuff at home when I'm editing the videos and I think, Paul, you're such a fucking lummox. Sort it out. Swearing's back, by the way. Bollocks. Stinking cold. Don't worry, it's sugar-free. So I'll let you into a little secret. Here's a little secret for you, right? I'm doing this as a 1p build. I'm also trying to get in the London Marathon. Don't know if I'm going to. I've applied for lots of charity places. If I get in that, I've got to raise a big amount of money. So all the proceeds from my next couple of guitars are going to charity. The Jurg's Cup I'm going to sell off, and that's going to leukemia. This one, whatever charity accepts me for the London Marathon, I'm going to have to use. I'm going to be making guitars and auctioning them off, and it's all going to go to charity. That's generally the theme I wanted to do in the future. We're doing it a bit quicker.
animal.
Whoa! Radius jig! Just going to turn you off a minute while I organise myself. Okay, so I've marked my 16mm headstock thickness on there. I've gone a little bit thicker than normal, nothing new there. I'm going to chop that off quickly on the bandsaw. We won't film that, that's boring. And just so that when my radius tool starts going mental on there, it's not going to be radiusing a headstock needlessly and getting in the way. So I'll do that just so you know what's going on when we reconvene at the rest of the workshop at the other end. Comment section. Remember that I did them? Remember I used to do comment sections? Comment section. I had a comment from an old friend, Sean Moore. Not sure he ever watches the videos. Probably thinks I'm a bit of a pleb. But Sean commented, lovely to see you at the pub the other day, Beans. Everyone calls me Beans. It's short for albino, alright? It's a little bit more pleasant. Anyway, I digress. Nice to see you at the pub the other day, Beans. Amazing how much weight you've lost. Well, isn't that a nice thing for a man to say to a friend? Isn't that lovely? I said, thanks, Sean, that's great. He replied with, yeah, at first, I thought you might have AIDS. Yep, that's a good one. I'll tell you what, we're good to each other. Let's go for a bit of radius in now, shall we? Bit of radius in. Right, so because we are one-piece necking, we're one-piece necking. I've got my radius gauge. I've got to do things in front of my face because the camera wants to follow my face. There's my radius gauge, 12 degrees radii. That's what we're going for. But now I'm going to whack it on me super flat bit of granite. Come with me. The super flat bit of granite over here, Super flat bit of granite, which we've got on here, which you can see on camera too, because we're technical. Lovely, that's him whammed in place. Naturally, I'm going to speed this up so you've got a chance of staying awake. We've got the StewMac 12-inch radius. I like this one because it's long and strong. We're pencil lining all the way down, just like that. What do you notice about the seamless blend that I just did? There's a change here. Do you know what it is? I'll tell you what it is. I've added two little guides here. I was having a problem, and I'm going to tell you what my problem is. My problem was that I was sanding with my radius block, doing a lovely job, right, as ever. But as I was sanding, I was getting a bit of movement. When you do that, you get more action on the outsides of your radius block. And I was sanding in greater radiuses than 12 degrees, and it stumped me. Like an absolute mug, I was a bit stumped. So I watched some videos, and I noticed that I didn't have any guide rails. So I put some guide rails in. Lo and behold, even though I was only finishing off the fretboard, tarting up the wood, you might even say, I was just finishing it off, it was enough to fuck it up. So now you can see with me little radius block, I've got a 12-degree radius, which is what I wanted. So there you go. I was being a dick. That fretboard's all finished. I've gone 80, 120, just gone with 400. Now we're smooth like a baby's bum. Let's get back to the next stage, shall we? So far, everything's going well. My neck is at a point where really all I've got to do is drill some holes in it and shape the back. So once I've done fret slots, we'll do some bits on the body, and that'll conclude our video today. I'll reconvene over there and we'll do a bit of that bit. Phil McKnight. Who's watching Phil? Who's watching Big Phil? Love a bit of Big Phil. So where are we? Once again, we've got our fret slots cut. Piece of cake. Piece of...
Piss.
Yeah, that's that. I'm always torn whether to go black or white on fret dots, so I think we're going to go black just to match it all in. Woo! Yes! 25.5 inch scale length. We've got a skunk stripe fretboard. Surprisingly easy, actually. Don't know why I was so worried about that technique, but I'm using it in the future. Little bit of a miss today. Been felling trees in my garden. Not my tree, it's my neighbour's tree, bless her. But she's about 9,000 years old and she won't put her hand in her pocket for the fucking tree that grows over my garden and destroys everything. So here I am in the tree. Legend. It was like a safety video that you watch before to avoid accidents at work. Horrific. But anyway, crimson scale rulers, radius dish, chop saw blade. Perfect. We've got as far as we want on my neck for a minute. We can do some interesting stuff on the body now. That's what we're all here for, aren't we? What's it going to look like? How pretty is it going to be? So what am I going to do today? Big round over on the body. We're going to make this. Should I make a big round over or should we go quite crispy? Comment below, everyone. So we know where that one's going to go. That's a piece of piss. We also know, let's get that in a better spot so everyone can see what's going on. Ooh, that was a close-up of my face, wasn't it? We also know that I tend to cut my bodies with a bit of a round there and we get rid of this corner. How terribly technical. Making it up as we go along in true fashion. Bit of a camera malfunction there. I don't know when that stopped filming. That'll be interesting on the edit. Right, that's that. I'm in dire need of a tidy up. We'll get this routed out quickly. Right, I'm gonna have a tidy up and then we'll come back and have a little look at what I've done. Which isn't a lot, to be honest, but we've done something. What's next? What's next? Let's get some things ticked off the list. We just want to get to a few cheeky stages where we're looking like a guitar. We've got our neck. I've got me laminated little bit of wonderfulness. Bit of walnut to match the walnut. We've kept it in theme. We're using the noggin. Trying my best. Make sure you acknowledge that with a like. Maybe even a subscription. If you're feeling generous, you type. Anyway, so before I can get my neck pocket done, I'm going to drill through this hole. Le hole. Right through the body so I can see where the outer pieces are of that. And then on the other side, I'm going to make a bigger hole. It's technical, isn't it? It's very technical. Once I've done that, I can make 2 control cavities from the other side. We'll be looking quite sexual. Apart from me, I'm a munter. But yeah, that's the aim. They are proper wonky, but it don't matter. We don't mind wonk. Now all I've got to do is make some control cavity slot bits. I'll go away off camera and make these because otherwise I'm going to end up with 9,000 gig of 4K footage of me scratching my ass. See you in a minute. Back in the room, back in the room. So I did start, I thought, oh, it's another example to use card body filler and we can make our templates and all the rest of it. I started and then I thought, what am I doing? Got a CNC machine downstairs. So I went down and I just drew up a couple of templates. I went mental and that was a bit nice. First time I've actually done anything useful really apart from make signs and other crap. So to conclude what we're going to do here now, I'm just going to route out this control cavity. What are you going to use for the top part? So I've got some random perspex which actually paints up really nicely. It's easy to spray, it's perfect thickness. So I'll use a bit of this. So I know how thick I've got to make these little rebates. You know what I'm going to do. We're just going to get on with it. I know it's cheating doing it off camera, but I did it off camera because it's boring. It's a Triton sander. Oh, look at him sanding. You don't want to be watching that, do you? Tell me if you do want to be watching that though. I like your comments. I love your comments, so get your comments on. I want to see at least 20. There you go, scratch to L. Scratch to L, but they fit, they'll do. Still trying to shape this code. I hope it's not interfering with your viewing pleasure. And yes, we'll be using screws and not magnets. Magnets can back off. If you do like magnets, sorry, not sorry. A little bit sorry. I'll give you a little bit. Okay, so the blue covers are looking lovely. We've got some nice blue covers. Everything's cool there. I'll just demonstrate the fact that we've got a neck pickup, and that works rather well. I'll just pop that one out. There you go. So E is going to pop in through the back. Groundbreaking stuff. And then, hurrah! Out she comes. Don't know where that little whistle's come from. I've noticed it in a couple videos. I might be turning into a bit of a weirdo. But then I am on my own down in the workshop. No one knows what's going on. Toyed with a humbucker. Went with a bit of a hot one. Some might describe me as a hot one. Doubtful. Moving on. No one has ever described me as hot. Mrs. Richards will go, oh, I think you're hot, darling. But we all know that that's just fucking taking a piss, isn't it? I will summarise the next video by saying I'm going to do a little bit more. Ideas in my head. I'm going to do a burst. I want to do a burst. I've been watching Brad Angove and his big muscles. Mrs. Richards don't mind a bit of Brad, so I can get away with watching that of an evening. Just momentarily. Because I haven't grain filled or anything, we're going to get some grain coming through the paint job, which I actually quite like. I'm fed up of saying what's coming up in the next video. I'm going to do some more. I'm going to do some more bits. So, if you've got any suggestions, make your suggestions. I like a suggestion. Put it in a comment. Thanks everyone. Thanks for watching. Remember, always be nice to everyone and don't be a... Can't drop C-bombs. You know the rules. See you next week. Love you lots.